Alright, bro. So I'm playing pool with my buddy at a bar. Okay, the image isn't gonna be good because, So I go to a bar with my buddy playing some pool. Okay?
Oh,
Two things I want to talk about. First thing,
got some good options.
he was explaining the game to me because I've never really played. Maybe played once. Stood by near a pool table maximum 5 times in my life. So he's telling me about stuff like,
What a bitch, bro.
I mean, just, anything. He's being helpful. It's great. Context, we had a conversation earlier today about feeling inferior sometimes. Specifically, because we were talking about neuroscience. Let me eat this scab real quick. I'm sorry. Nice. No, I'm feeling self-conscious about eating this scab. Okay.
Jason, you've been nice enough.
Feeling inferior, feeling self-conscious, playing pool. So I was just, beginner's luck. I win the first one. And he's gone a little bit quiet. And I'm like, please, try my technique. Say to yourself, give voice to your anxiety. Let it out. Even though it sounds stupid. Say, out loud. I didn't make him say it in front of me, but that was the instruction. Say out loud. Something like, I don't know exactly what, you might think that your feeling is, but what I would be experiencing as a human being is, oh my gosh, Eris just beat me at something that he's never really played before, something that I enjoy playing. I am inferior to him then, so it's not only his fields of expertise, just in general, I am inferior to him then. Hold on, I shouldn't be pausing, but I wanted to play the next video, man, just to give you something to look at. So I'm inferior to Eris. He is all around better than me, more deserving of life. I don't remember exactly what I said, actually. But yeah, and he goes, because it really just, there was a part of him that obviously was like, why is Eris saying this stuff to me that I'm inferior? Because the brain's funny. You have to accept there are pieces of you that do not know what's going on. And those pieces are playing a role in the whole game, bro. Okay, so anyway. So I don't know whether he tried it or not. He didn't really tell me. Yeah. And then he won the second game. No. Oh, and then he won the next 2 games, I guess. Yeah, that must have been what happened. I think we played 3. And you could see the mood shift, because we're human beings. So anyway, so it was. I think that he did maybe try it in his head, and I think that's really awesome. I really appreciate that. But I don't know what the results were. I don't know if it had an effect. He didn't tell me. But obviously, telling me would have required acknowledging even more that he was feeling salty, and I was already impressed that he wasn't going, what? I don't give a shit, man. Okay. Thing number 2, but this is the real thing.
Ain't no
Me
way.
telling the general manager, hey, watch out for being racist. So we walk up to the bar, and I'm going to be honest with you. I'm feeling nervous. I'm feeling sensitive. I'm wearing a shirt of my mother's. They knew we wanted to play pool. I didn't know if we were actually going to go to a pool place or just go to a bar. No, and I've been getting into wearing clothing that women buy more often. And I've got 3 shirts of my mother. You know what? I was about to say how many times I've worn them.
Oh.
But you know what it is? It was just to be like, I'm not doing it all the time, bro. Only X amount of times, but I'm not even gonna do it. So if you think that I've worn them 200 times, do you think I've worn them 12 times? Do you think I've worn them 1,000 times? You think I've worn them 46 times? Not counting weekdays? Whatever. So, I'm nervous because it wasn't. Actually, I guess I did keep having images of them going, ooh, what's this faggot doing, But also it's like, I would guess a lot of Trump supporters. That may be completely wrong. but it's like it's a sports bar with like locals from these suburbs. Although these suburbs vote, liberal, I mean, it's people smoking cigarettes and playing pool, bro. I mean, how liberal can they be? Okay, that's my own ignorance. Okay, you guys are right. That's an ism. But that's what was happening. I'm walking in, two white guys outside and a white girl, and they just all look like they, belong isn't the right word, but word in like fucking a rural area. Fucking, it's poor white people, bro. It's my association. If I'm thinking of going to a bar on a Tuesday night, midnight to play pool, right? And especially people outside smoking cigarettes, sleeveless shirts, tattoos. Just being honest, bro. Not about reality, about my perception, okay? So I don't even acknowledge the people outside, right? Like, I'm kind of glancing at them because like I'm open to being like, hey, hello. But I'm also thinking, man, they might be like, who are these faggot niggers walking into our bar? And so I go in, talking to the bouncer guy, because my buddy Fox, he's got a, have I been saying his name? I try to avoid it. My buddy Fox, my buddy Fox is from Oklahoma, so he has an Oklahoma driver's license. Well, the bouncer's never seen an Oklahoma driver's license. He goes into his book to compare the holograms. There's no Oklahoma driver's license. In the license section there is, but not in the license hologram section. No Georgia, no Oklahoma, he tells us. And of course, my buddy Fox, he's right at home. I'm in home with like either upper middle class white people or Indian people or sort of, people of color. I don't feel like I'm going to be targeted. But poor white people that might be southern, rural, I don't feel at home, bro. So, and the bouncer's a chatty Cathy. He's telling us about the licenses he's seen and stuff. And I don't really know why. Because he doesn't seem like someone who's like oblivious. It's like we just walked in, we want to like pay. Maybe he just thinks when we're done with the conversation, we're going to go to the bar. Maybe he didn't understand we were playing pool. But it's like a pool place, so I don't know. We're chatting. He's talking about licenses, IDs, and holograms and shit. And this big dude, no sleeves, tattoos, the guy I was describing, young guy, 20s or 30s, tall though, not toned, but big and muscular. He walks in and he looks at the bouncer guy, who's much smaller, and goes, all good? And the bouncer goes, yeah, I'm just explaining the rules to them. First of all, I'm peeping the fact that, what do you mean all good? Like, what are you, extra security? And if you are, I don't know why I said it like that, there's no problem. But where's the problem? What are you checking in on? At first I thought it was a patron, but then I was like, no way. Obviously he works here. He's big, so maybe, I guess he's security. Maybe he's like the main security guy, and this guy is just subbing in for him because he's on break or something. I don't think I really thought that. I'm thinking that now. That's not the case. I'll tell you what the case is later, but I'm going to look stupid if I tell you now. So he checks in, keep talking with the bouncer, or letting him talk, and talking back, but also waiting for it to be over. And I say, so who do we like see about getting pool? And he goes, oh, me. So he goes around the desk and, we do all our business. It's bothering me. Fuck are you checking on shit for? We're talking. I tell Fox, bro, I just gotta get this off my chest. I didn't even want Fox to defend this dude. I knew that it's an understandable instinct. Two black guys walk into a bar and they're just there standing at the entrance talking to the bouncer. Is everything okay? Are they like insisting on getting in even though they've done something wrong? You picture like a club, two dudes that came in sneakers, or, they came in some Jordans, and you're not allowed to wear Jordans, or they had a hat or whatever, and they're like, come on, man. That's a thing in our minds, right? Go to the bar, I get a drink, and he seems, he's nice. It's not that I didn't think he was nice, by the way. People always get this wrong about racism. It's not that these people aren't nice, bro. By the way, I don't ever really even talk about the racism where it's like, I hate black people and I want to kill them. It's like it's probably more frequent than I think it is, but it's also 100% of people are racist. The number of ones who like are racist throughout their brain that are like, oh yeah, I believe in racism. I was actually about to say 2%. Not true at all. Probably like 30, 35, 40%. They call it pattern recognition. So, but what matters more is not the people who are like, oh, black people. It's the people who are like, oh, I love black people. I'm just a little bit suspicious of that guy, and I'm not super suspicious of that guy. No, they did not just do exactly the same thing. That guy, he like was a little more aggressive about it. The black one there, or I mean, I don't really see color, but that one over on the right. And then, that one, you can tell he didn't mean anything by it, but no, it has nothing to do with color. You can just tell. That's the kind of racism that's problem. Really, the big problem. Well said. So I walk up to the bartender, get my drink, whatever. Okay, then I'm cashing out. And I wrote brother a message. What a character. So, bartender brother, I get it. When two black guys are calmly chatting with your security or like bouncer guy, oh, I forgot, bro. I get the instinct to make sure everything is okay. Even if you know your bouncer guy likes to talk, even if you don't hear any drama, even if he didn't signal you, but it doesn't like feel nice and welcoming. So, I go to check out, give him a 30% tip, and I hand him this napkin. And I say, hey, bro, I wrote something for you. And he like starts to read it immediately. I go, oh, I didn't want to put you on the spot. You don't have to. Oh, okay, go ahead. And he tells me, man, it doesn't have anything to do with color. I'm expecting that, So I go, absolutely. He goes, no, yeah, just, I heard you guys talking about IDs. And so I was like, I just wanted to check in. Oh, absolutely, bro. I get that. But would you do me a favor and would you just like think about it? Because, like, trust me, bro. Like, I do neuro, bro. I consider color. I don't like think about it as in, I don't experience the thoughts about it, but it is a part of the consideration. And it's just cool to like know that even if you can't like see it happening in your thoughts, that it's there. And he goes, okay, I'll think about it, but also not true. It's got nothing to do with color. I wish I had recorded, but there's a little bit of not back and forth as in arguing, but but I gotta insist that like it's a thing, bro. It's just how the world works, bro. How humans work, I mean. And he says that he's the general manager. So anytime he hears anything about IDs, he's just like, oh, let me make sure everything's okay. I was convinced by the end of this conversation and kind of changed my point. Like I told him, okay, well, I'm convinced by what you said. And I said something else. But thought about it a little bit more. It was very convincing, very coherent story, and very true story. But is it a complete story? I guess there was one thing that was really compelling to me, which is that he said that he was like, you know how many fake IDs we get? And I guess it was like underage people, right? I don't know, bro. I obviously don't know this guy. So he another thing that he said was like, I'm known as being this super friendly guy. I'm actually very liberal, and I've marched in Black Lives Matter. And it's like, bro, don't you know this is kind of a meme what you're doing? Bro, I can't be racist. I do all these, and I participate in these anti-racist things, right? But actually you can still be racist in the sense of prejudiced. Absolutely can, bro. I've got black friends. I can't be racist. No, but you can. And I bet you love your black friend. But black still probably means something to you, and in general, especially when it doesn't come to your friends. I mean, I don't know if you've ever turned on the TV or watched a movie, or the news or anything, but it's probably not all positive what you associate black with. I mean, and also everybody, there's a classism, right? I mean, even if you're poor, there's gonna be like, poor person. Even if you yourself are poor, there's also gonna be another mechanism going, oh, cool, I can relax. But yeah, we are many different pieces, okay? Different rules. And him telling me that he was liberal, that did make a difference. I 100% thought it was going to be Trump country in there. I didn't expect that, to be honest with you. I didn't expect him to even engage in this conversation really. So I got a lot wrong. I am very prejudiced. Okay, if you don't understand the point of everything I'm saying here and that what the channel is, I point out dumbass moments. I am also a dumbass. Okay, like I don't even. I mean, obviously, anybody who's like, "Ooh, Eris thinks that he's all rational and anti-race or non-racist and all this other stuff." It's like you're not getting it. I am also a human brain, bro. I am also the descendants of people who like survived on racism, on tribalism. I am also, most of my mechanisms are these super unreliable, quick things just trying to come up with a conclusion, okay? And the point here is not like, oh, I guess racism isn't real, and I've just realized I'm just the one who's prejudiced. No, we all are. I guess in this situation, maybe you could say that I was more prejudiced than he was, because I was really like, I didn't say anything to Chasten because I was thinking Chasten's probably gonna kind of feel at home here. Because he dates white women and stuff. But I mean, Fox. But I also date white women, but I don't like dating white women. I don't find them very attractive. I'm sorry. Yeah, can you imagine if a white girl said that about black guys? And you know what? It would be fucking different. And you know why? Only because of context. If white women were the marginalized group, if there were a bunch of stereotypes about them that like made them be excluded from things or that induce fear in people, it would absolutely be problematic of me to say that. We can discuss it more, but that's not the point right now. So I'm like, okay. And then I thought of another thing while I'm talking to him. I said, well, all right, then fine. It wasn't a part of your calculation. But stuff like that does happen to us. And he's like, I get that. I was like, okay, cool. So, like be conscientious of that, I guess. Or I hope that, next time if you're like, IDs, everything cool? I hope you remember this conversation. You go, oh, wait, they might think that it's about their color. They might think that I see them as threats. So say hi to them. Because he didn't say hi to us. He just looks at the bouncer all good and keeps going. Doesn't even look at us. Well, damn, he got me back good. He said, I said hi to you before you walked in. Because I was kind of keeping my head down. Oh, no. White man with tattoos and no sleeves, standing outside of a pool bar smoking a cigarette on a Tuesday night. Oh no, he's a Trumper. He doesn't know why I'm walking into this bar. Yeah, real shit. I'm also a human brain, bro. And so I was shocked. That had me a little flustered. Oh, goddamn, this shit turned around real quick. You said hi to me? Damn, I did not hear you. And then, to kind of prove I didn't hear him, because I had been thinking as I was walking in, maybe I should say hi. It is possible that I said hi, but all I remember is going, like, should I say hi or should I not interrupt and just keep my head down and keep to myself? And, well, he said I said hi back. So I was like, oh, damn, I don't even remember doing that. I did not know you said hi. Okay. And he was like, and then I walked in like 30 seconds later. Okay. So yeah, no, it makes sense that you wouldn't do another hi. I don't know. But there was like no acknowledgement, which could make sense if I didn't respond hi. Like maybe he said hi and I thought I didn't realize the word was hi. So I just heard, and thought that it was part of his conversation with his friend. Maybe Chasten heard it and responded to him. And maybe that's why he thought I responded. Because maybe I kind of glanced in that direction and I wasn't even realizing that they were saying hi to each other. So he thought we were both responding hi. Doesn't really matter. What matters is so many things about this conversation that surprised me. And obviously, that affected me and that I'm, sharing. And I hope that he thought about it. Here was the final point that I made. I was like, okay, you've given me a good reason why you're worried. What made you worried? It wasn't just that we were talking, it was that you heard us talking about IDs. But you didn't say hi. Oh, but you did say hi to us. Okie dokie. And I said hi back. Okay, so we already had done the greetings. Okie dokie, okie dokie, okie dokie. Well, in that case, I was like, you've convinced me of a lot. Okay, but then it's still a real thing. We call them implicit biases, right? So even if, whatever thoughts you happen. And this is I think when I'm going, no, but me, I do it. I know that I judge people differently based on things like gender, accent, color, class. Oh no, but I think then he was like, I don't know. Anyway, the last thing that I said was, all right, cool. Well, as an ally, I didn't use that word, but I was like, okay, well, cool. Well, in this case, then, you've convinced me of a lot. But yeah, I guess just be receptive to this then. I don't want you to go too hard into the defense. Hey, don't say this shit to me because into BLM, I protested it with BLM. Like we all need these reminders, you know? And so then we shook hands and that's the end of my story. So I think it's something to think about. And I think it's really a really good human interaction. And I did have a bit of a hot flash afterwards because, I really thought I knew what had happened. And I had judged him based on his look, absolutely. And I'm pretty convinced that I was almost entirely wrong. But there is two important things. Again, one, no matter what you think happened in your mind, the best way to know what happened in your mind is to go, well, what would have been good for my survival in ancestral times? And what would have been good for your survival is, pattern recognition, bro. What are these two Negroes up to? And why are they talking to my bouncer so long? Why haven't they been let in? They must be up to something. So just know that is happening, and it's better to err on the side of assuming it's happening even when it isn't than to err on the side of, oh no, that's not happening. I don't see color. And then the other thing is, and this is a very recent growth for me, and I'm still learning this. When someone calls you out on something, let's talk about two of the options. One option is, oh no, that's not me. No, don't you worry. I'm not doing that bad thing that you're saying. The other option is, there are other options, but another option is, you're worried about people doing this. I'm going to show you that you can sort of feel comfortable with me, and I'm going to validate you expressing this concern because I want this concern expressed to people. So rather than saying, oh no, that's not me, I'm going to say, oh yeah, that's so valuable, thank you. Because the issue really isn't whether it's me or not, This guy, Eris, with his dreads, he's never been in my bar before. I don't know if I'm gonna see him again. So what he thinks of me doesn't, because, and this is something I said to him. I said, I'm not leaving a review. I'm telling you. So I'll be receptive to this, bro. Because it makes me, I didn't say this to him, but what I'm saying to you, what my point is about why I'm saying if someone calls something out, even if it's not true of you, but you think it's important that people call it out, spend more time on pay, give more attention to the value of the call out than whether or not it's true in your. So if a woman says to me, okay, I was doing an improv scene and two women are on a train, we're improvising, two women are on a train, we're all on a train, and these two women are like, hey, when are you getting off? And there's like this theme of people being buddies and providing safety for each other. And so I'm kind of standing behind them and I go, and like one of them says she's getting off. And so the other one's scared. Oh no, she has to ride the train alone. And so I go, I can be your train riding buddy, And she goes, and it was funny because our improv instructor, queer BIPOC, he says he thought that was weird because he just really saw me as just like trying to be helpful, and then he was like, there was good potential there for a story because Eris was just like trying to be helpful, and these two white girls were just like, ah. Now, I had been aware that I was being creepy. Like, I wasn't like trying to be creepy, like, but I was trying to be a thing that I knew would be interpreted as creepy, which is just basically being awkward and in a situation where women are scared. So being an awkward man, asking to spend time with or offering to spend time with women who are scared of, whatever. So, and then when my improv teacher he says this about that, wow, this poor guy, he was like misunderstood. And the girls, well, at least one of them, is almost like, what? He goes, oh no, like from our perspective, ugh, So I could have, in that moment, felt an impulse to, and I really didn't. This stuck out to me only because I do get misunderstood. I'm not super worried about getting misunderstood as like a threat to women, but I do get misunderstood as like a threat to people, in a sense. Not like a physical threat, but as a, anyway, it doesn't matter. Not the point right now. I'm thinking about how that could be interpreted. But anyway, the point is I get misinterpreted. And so it's so funny for that to like come across in this weird scene where I wasn't misinterpreted in the way that I normally get misinterpreted. So that stuck out to me for that reason. But so I didn't have the impulse to like defend myself. No, not all men. I'm not one of those guys. Bro, protect yourself, bro. These men out here, bro. So the bartender could have had that energy. Oh yeah, man. Oh, I'm sorry, you felt that way. If it makes a difference, honestly, I'm BLM liberal and all that, but no, I get that. Yeah, we absolutely have these implicit biases and yeah, good call out, man. Like, if you're really for the cause, be less concerned about this, I guess tall isn't relevant, but this white man potentially getting mischaracterized as racist, and be more concerned about the racist, about the black people who are being misinterpreted, not as racist, but as, thieves and murderers and idiots or whatever, and, notice, oh, this was probably hard for this person of color to like call this out. Let me support that. So I'm not saying he was in the wrong at all. I am saying that this would be that next step up. Okay, you're not racist. Don't worry about me getting that wrong. Because I'm trying to tell you, I'm worried about people getting me wrong. And that happens on a systemic level, right? You were at BLM, right? Okay. So anyway, some stuff to think about, some stuff that I shared. Great. Bye.